Very good morning to all of you. So my sound is clear, I think so. आवाज आ रही है मेरी बराबर बेटा? My sound is clear. My sound is clear, I think so. गुलाम हुसैन गुंजारी, राहुल, आवाज आ रही है मेरी? Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
in previous class we have seen the this different types of member in the roof truss. Uh, Also, we have seen what is the effective length of compression member in case of column, and that is given in also our IS 800 2007 page number 45. So, as per the different fixed TDT criteria or end conditions, you can say, based on the end condition, the different effective length we have seen. Also, for the member of truss, what is the effective length when in plane of the set or perpendicular to plane of the set, with five conditions we have discussed in previous class. Okay. Also, we have discussed the local buckling of the what is local buckling, what is the flexible buckling, what is the torsional buckling. All these things already covered in 2, 3 lecture. Then we have seen the buckling class of section, and that is uh, based on the H by BF value or TF by TF is less than 40, and then the axis about the axis and buckling class A, B, C, D will given in the IS 800 2007. So this is your IS 800 to 7 2007 on page number 44. It is given the effective length and the buckling class of your sections. So these we have covered already the buckling class of section, how to find out the buckling class of section. We have already discussed in previous class. So based on the condition and the values of different values of the section, based on the width or depth of the section, the buckling classification we have done. Muhammad Hasnain Mehman, who is Muhammad Hasnain Mehman? Hello, who is Muhammad Hasnain Mehman? Your seat number. Muhammad Hasnain Mehman, please open your camera. So like that, if the people they are joining, that is not good. If you don't, if somebody you are knowing they are from the outside, please inform to me. Okay. So this one is our we have seen uh, the buckling classification of the section. So buckling class is what is the buckling class? The buckling class is given by the some of the previous days theory in IS code. The theory by Perry Robertson theory. The this classification is one. So there are different theories by Rankais, by Euler, but in IS 800 2007, the theory you are considered the theory of Western theory for the buckling classification of section. And is classified the section based on the imperfection factor. If alpha is equal to 0.21, alpha is equal to 0.34, and alpha is equal to 0.49, alpha is equal to 0.76. Based on this value, it is given the ABCD class. So buckling class of cross section, if I section is there, if, you can see here, the I section, gold is steel section, I section is there, then the buckling class of your section will be based on the H by BF value. H is the overall depth, BF is the width of section. If it is greater than 1.2 and TF is less than or equal to less than equal to 40 mm, the gesture will be this is less than 40 mm, not equal to. Just correction. BIS list of correction also I shared on your WhatsApp group, so you can make correction. And the buckling class about ZZ axis is A class, Y axis is B class. So generally to find out the X factor or the design compressive stress, there is a table given in IS code to get the value of FCD directly. So based on that, you have to you should know the buckling classification instruction, and these are the guidelines which is given by the IS 800 2007. So if these values should be satisfied, this value 40 mm less than DF or it is equal to 100 mm, it is there, and H by BF value is greater than 1.2, then ZZ it is B class, and YY axis or the major axis is C class. I also shared you the sign convention. The ZZ axis is the major axis, YY axis is the minor axis, also cross section, and X axis along the length of the member. Okay, along the length of member, this axis is using the your X axis. Okay, so in cross section, generally major axis we are the ZZ axis. So the buckling class of ZZ axis and Y axis. And the X axis is along the length of the cylinder. It is too long, and that's why that will be considered. Then H by B value is less than 1.2 and TN is less than equal to 100 mm, then the ZZ axis and Y axis is B class and C class. It is for the roll distal I section. Similarly, for welded I section, if there is you make I section with value of different plate element, it may be the built-up section with the additional flange plate also. So the TF is less than equal to 40 mm, then ZZ is B class, YY about minor axis, YY axis is C class. Or any hollow section, hot rolled section if it is there, then A class, oil form section is there, then the B class. If welded section is there, thick welds if there B by TF is less than 30 and H by TW is less than 50, then the C class will be there. Or other than this condition, all classes will be B class is welded boxes. Any section, channel section, angle section, tool section, solid bar, it may be rectangle, square, solid bar, it may be circular, any type of section it is given in the C class. All these things already we have discussed in the previous class. Now, we know the failure of your section in compression. It may be by corrosion, it may be by buckling. So generally, the design compressive strength of the column or the compression member is given by P PD is equal to A into FCD. You can see here, this is given PD is equal to PD is equal to A into FCD. Okay, this is the formula. What is the PD? PD is the design compressive strength of your member. This is, and P is nothing but what is the actual load coming in the structural element. So the actual load coming on the column is P, and PD is your design compressive strength. At that value should be greater than what. So how we can find out the PD? PD is equal to A into FCD. So we have to find out here two values. One is A to find out the PD, and another is FCD. Now to find out the FCD, there is several empirical equations it is given by the IS code. So if we go in IS code, the section number 7, that is the compression member, there are formula is given. So the design of compression member you can see here. Here also the PD is equal to A into FCD, you can see here. Okay, and then how to find out this value FCD phi, lambda, FCC, all these how to find out all the empirical equations are given by the IS4. So that equation we will see here. Okay. So FCD when you are finding out, then the FCD value is Fy upon gamma m0 divided by phi under root of phi square minus lambda square. This to the power 0.5 means it is the value is under root. So I write this that it will be like this: y upon gamma m0 divided by phi plus under root of phi square minus lambda square. It will be like this. Okay, where what is the phi? Where phi is the 0.5 into the bracket 1 plus alpha. Alpha is the imperfection factor as you see, lambda minus zero point 0.2 lambda square. How to find out lambda? Lambda is non-dimensional effective slenderness ratio, that is under root of Fy into FCC. And it is equal to Fy KL phi. KL R square, that is lambda square. Lambda is nothing but your slenderness ratio, and FCC is the interior buckling stress, and it can be found out pi square E upon KL by R square. Okay, so all this value it is given here. So if you put this value here, so pi square E will be there, and this KL R square will come up. So Fy into KL R square. That's why here in lambda it is seen to be reversed. What is the KL by R? KL by R is the effective slenderness ratio, or ratio effective length to the appropriate radius of gyration. So generally, appropriate radius of gyration means we are generally taken the R minimum, the minimum radius of gyration will give you the maximum slenderness ratio, and the slenderness ratio, maximum slenderness ratio is nothing but the responsible for the buckling. Yeah. So generally, our column is the if intermediate column is there, then it may be failing the crushing, or it may be failing to the buckling. Mostly, if the column, the cross section dimensions are very less, they are failing into the buckling elements most of the time. And alpha is the imperfection factor that is given in table number 7 of IS 800 2007. If you go for IS 800 2007, all the empirical formulas are also given, and this value, the imperfection table number 7 on page number 35, it is given table 7 of imperfection factor alpha, and it is based on the buckling class. So as you find out the buckling class of the section by using the table 10 of your IS code, from that you can easily find out the alpha value, and alpha is imperfection factor. Now X is the stress reduction factor for different buckling class, cylinder ratio, and yield ratio. X is equal to 1 upon phi plus under root of that is nothing but you can see that we find out is that here lambda this value here in epsilon x Fy upon gamma into x. This is phi 1 upon phi plus under root of phi square lambda square is nothing but x. X value we can also easily find out from the table also. So in IS code there is table to find out the value of x. What is the x? It is the stress reduction factor. So stress reduction factor you can find out by using this formula. So this is nothing but the stress reduction factor. It is not x. It is called as maybe the psi. Okay. So this is Greek word, and you can find out. So this long table number A, based on the buckling class, you can able to find out the stress reduction factor directly. So based on the buckling class, based on the yield stress of your steel, based on the slenderness ratio, you can easily find out the stress reduction factor. Here also stress reduction factor class B, class C, and class D. So all classes you can find out the stress reduction factor by using this table also, without going for the calculation. If you know the value of this already, it is calculated by Elias More and Sinde. What is time now? Could join on time as the name send you could join on the time. So here you can see the sorry, you can see that this stress reduction factor you can find out by the empirical using the equation, or you can find out through the this table what is given in your IS4. So these tables are given in IS4 for different working class and Fy value will be stress and the KL by R is nothing but your lambda. KL by R is nothing but your lambda. So based on that you can easily find out that. Also, if you want to find out the FCD directly, so in table number 9A, 9B, 9C, you can say here from the page number 39, 30, 40, the 9A is the design compressive stress FCD. Directly you can find out from the buckling class A of the section. Okay, so mostly in examination you have to use this empirical formula if the marks for the problem is 5 or more than 5, the marks will be 5 or more than 5. Then you have to use this empirical equations to find out the FCD. And from this empirical equation, you can find the FCD very exactly. But by using the table, you can find out the value. So this stress reduction factor, as I told you, for different Buckley class A, B, C, D is given table number 8A to D. Okay. Similarly, design compressive stress FCD for various Buckling classes can be found from table number A to D, IS 800 2007. So there is two methods. You can use the empirical equation to find out the FCD, or okay. So you know that what is the design compressive strength of our member? The design compressive strength of our member is nothing but AE into FCD. है ना? Design compressive strength of member PD is equal to AE into FCD. FCD कैसे मालूम करना है ये भी आपको बताया मैंने by using the empirical equation, and the equations all are given in your IS 800 2007. IS 800 2007 is allowed in your examination, so don't need of remembering that. Then AE is nothing but effective cross section area. So what is the effective cross section area? So we know that there are section classification. And earlier we have done section classification, that is width to thickness ratio of the flange element and web element we are checking, and that is nothing but giving us the elastic compact or semi-compact section. So is this effective length means effective cross section area means at least your classification or section classification will be in semi-compact. Semi-compact. It is not buckling classification, it is section classification. So how many classification is there? There is plastic, compact, semi-compact. Already this part we have already discussed in the unit number 1. You can see the video also I have shared on your Google Classroom if you are not understand. Then the plastic section is the first, second is compact, and third is semi-compact. If the section is present, it is very good. If section is compact, then it is well. And if semi-compact section, that is also you can consider up to yield or elasticity limit. It is okay. So in that conditions, if your section is in this limit, then your AG, that is the gross section area of the section, is nothing but AG. But if your section is cylinder, uh, if section is cylinder, then you have to at least bring your section, at least bring your section in semi-compact. Bring your section, in semi-compact below. Semi-compact. Okay, so this if the section is cylinder, then you have to add this. You have to bring this into the semi-compact layer. Why? Why? Because you know that the section will fail before reaching the yield stress if it is cylinder. Okay, so the strength will be reduced. If the section is to cylinder section, then it will fail without reaching to the your elastic limit, okay, or yield stress. Okay, so that's why at least your section should be the same. Okay, so then you know the AG of the section, you know the if FCD you can find out, then the PD will be nothing but your AE into FCD. Whatever value you will get in Newton per mm square, or that should be greater than your design compressive strain, that is P or PD, whatever you are generating, that should be greater than. Then you can say that your section is okay. If this condition satisfied, then you can say your section is okay. Okay, so this is nothing but your design compression strength of your section. Design compression strength of your section. Now, for various compression members are there. Various compression members are there. So, table number 3 of IS 800-2007, it gives the allowable cylinder ratio for compression member. So, if you go in table number 3 of your IS code, table number 2 is for the section classification, and table number 3, if you go, that is for the difference cylinder ratio. So cylinderness ratio, this is the maximum values of the two cylinders ratio. So it is given a member carrying a compressive load. It's table number 3 as load. We are saying if the cylinders ratio of the two cylinders ratio of a various section, maximum values of the two cylinders ratio. Based on this condition, these conditions of member are given. A member carrying compressive load resulting from dead load and import load. If on the member there is compressive load and only dead load and live load are there, then the maximum cylinderness ratio is 180. Okay. So why we are going for 180? If it is maximum value, because it is given in last. Attention rewind in which a reversal distress occurs due to loads or other is also 180. Member subjected to compression flow resulting only from the combined with wind or earthquake section, provided the deformation of such member does not adversely affect the stress in any part of the structure, then the maximum value of lambda is 250. Compression is like a beam against lateral torsional buckling. The lambda is 300. A member normally acting as a tie in a roof truss or a bracing system, not considered effective when subjected to possible reversal stress. Reversal effect, why we are anywhere it is written the reversal stress. The reversal stresses when occur when there is no load or when the load is changing their position. In case of your truss girder of bridge, in case of your roofing system, roof truss, what happens when gravity load is dominant, then there will the member in compression, and when the wind load is dominant, which is uplift opposite to the gravity load, then what happens? The reverse effect is the member in compression changes its full tension. Okay, so that's why it is given here the reversal of the stresses into the compression resulting from the action of wind or earthquake. Any one of the four, which one is dominant, it is considered the lambda value, maximum lambda value is 350, and when we are always under tension, then or pre-tension member, the lambda value is 400. So these are the maximum limit which is given in ISO. So here in this table only which consider this is considered only for the compression. So if carrying this dead load and live load for column 150, 180, carrying load resulting from wind and seismic loads provided deformation 250, normal acting as a tie in the truss or bracing member, not considered effective when subjected to reversal of stresses. If it is not effective, then 350. And if the lashing bars in the column, what is the lashing bars? The inclined bar when we are joining two columns each other, two members each other, then we are joining the inclined member, they are called the lashing bar. It will also come then in column when we design the built-up section. So the lambda is 140, 145, sorry, and for built-up section element is there, and the lambda value is 50. Okay, so these are nothing but theoretical and as specification of your compression member you have seen today, and I think so you understand all of this. If any question you can ask with me and we will clear the doubt here. Otherwise we will proceed. Okay. तो डाउट है तो आप पूछ सकते हैं अदरवाइज we will proceed. Now we will come to our because you don't have any doubt, then we will come to our now the step for design of axially loaded compression engine. So you can write down this step one by one so that when we solve the example tomorrow, you can able to know how to solve the axially loaded compression member or how to solve the axially loaded column. Okay, compression means member means generally this column. Okay, or it is made a member of truss or member of bracings. Okay, so these are the steps. One by one we will go and note down in your notebook. Steps for design of axially loaded compression member. So I write down here the steps for design of axially loaded compression member. Okay, so this procedure, step by step procedure, you can write down your note. Step number one: find out the effective length of section. It is very important, and AD is equal to K by L. So from table number 11 of IS 800 2007, you can find out this page number, I think so 45, and find out the effective length. So if you open the IS 800 2007, the effective length is given on page number here 45. Okay. This is the given effective length of the column. Okay. So end conditions are given, one end, another end, then specific schematic representation, and the column number 6 it is the effective length, the value of K before A. Okay. Now what is the L? L is the unsupported length of your column. What is the L? L is the unsupported length of your column. Capital L is the unsupported length of your column. Generally, you say the unsupported length means this is your column. So this is fixed ready showing, but this length is nothing but your length. It is the unsupported length of your column. Okay, and based on the end condition, you can find out the effective. Then assume the design compressive stress, because at the start we don't know the section, है ना? In design example, we don't know the section. So we don't know the section, how we can find out the area of the section? We don't know the area of section. We don't know section, how we can find out the area of section? So for start of the problem, you have to assume the FCD. FCD आपको assume करना है. FCD क्या करना है? अज्यूम करना है। कैसे अज्यूम करना है? अगर आप नंबर ऑफ ट्रस अगर डिजाइन कर रहे हो तो FCD विल बी अज्यूम 80 to 120 MPa। और अगर आप कॉलम वर्टिकल कॉलम नंबर आप डिजाइन कर रहे हो तो FCD विल बी अज्यूम्ड 120 to 180 MPa। okay, so that value you should assume. This lamp 180 is for column compression number, 180 is the maximum value. Okay, for in case of this FCD. Okay, now you can find out the area required. This is not AE, this is the area required. Right, or area. So area required is equal to whatever load is coming and FCD, whatever FCD you are assuming, you can. So you can get the area required. So here you get the area required. Okay. Then area required based on the effective area required, you have to choose the section. You have to choose the section. Choose or select section from steel table. From your steel table, okay, or SP60. Okay. Now you know the steel table. To know the FCD, you should know the section buckling classification of section. Okay, and to know the value of your AE is equal to AG, then section classification also. So section classification is plastic, semi-compact, compact. Buckling classification, it is three class. Three class. One is plastic, two is compact, and three is semi-compact. Okay. In section classification. In buckling classification, you have A, B, C, and D. It is from table number 10 of IS 800 2007. This go given in page number 34. Okay, so if your section is in class 1 plastic, class 2 compact, class 3 semi-compact limit, then in that case your AE is equal to AG. If your section is cylinder, if section is cylinder, then you have to bring the section at least in class 3. Then bring section at least in class 3, that is semi-compact. Okay, then your AE is equal to AG. When you bring that, the effective length is equal to AG. Or you can calculate actual AE. Okay, so that is you have to find out. Okay. Then at last, you have calculated the FCD by using this, knowing the section buckling classification, effective length, all these cylinder stiffness ratio, you know all these things. Put the values in your equations, in your empirical equations. This empirical equation, put the values, and you can find out the FCD. And based on section classification, you should know the AE. By knowing the AE and FCD, you can find out the PD, and PD should be greater than P, what is the actual load quantity. Okay, so this is all about your compression member IS specification. So today our lecture outcome will be today's our lecture of compression member. The outcome will be design compressive strength of member, first we have seen. Then again we have seen the buckling classification, IS specifications of, compression member. We have seen the maximum slenderness ratio limit, ratio limit. In that case, we have seen the table 3 of IS 800 2007, and we have seen the step by step steps for design of compression member. Okay, so axially loaded step for design of axially loaded compression member. If there is this, we have finished. This we have. If you don't, if you have any query, any question, you can ask with me. Otherwise, we will stop here. Okay. So today is lecture number 21 and 28, 2021 is our date today. Any question you may ask with me, or otherwise we will stop. कोई क्वेश्चन है आपके मन में, कोई शंका है? कल tomorrow we will solve the example and then we will further proceed.
Yes, sir.
बोलिए, क्या क्वेश्चन है आपका? क्या क्वेश्चन है आपका? कोई क्वेश्चन है आपका?
Nothing.
No. So you understand what I told you today? So you tomorrow you can able to solve the examples. Okay. And tomorrow our practical class is also there. Okay. So in that case, we will complete the wind analysis calculation. The first lecture will be there. In that, we will solve the compression member example, and design of column or member of truss, and then we will go for the our in practical class. We will complete the wind analysis calculation. Okay, so we will stop here. Thank you for joining. If you have no doubt.